Like I said, you guys probably know more about the rock itself than I do.
Is this historically preserved now or protected?
Not yet. It's the property. Part of the property, as we said, is in private hands of someone that is concerned about its protection, and we'll see what the next steps are.
Yeah, but why do you want to protect this rock? Nothing can happen to it. It's a giant rock. No one can lift it. Yeah, but somebody could blow it up. Okay, you can't blow up something like that. It's like a giant rock. No one can blow it.
Good question.
Wow, good.
All of these little stones around here were once part of a bigger rock. That whole stone wall, as you walk along there, you'll see one place that one of the stones has got what looked like somebody went down with their finger in clay and made marks along it. Those are what are called quarry marks, where they took chisels and made a whole little row of holes. You know the way you pull out, like, note paper and rip it out because it's got little holes and it cuts in a straight line? That's what those holes are. There's one right here, a quarry hole over here. Somebody took a chisel, tried to start to break this one up.
Oh.
So yes, you can break up a big rock like that. But the major reason to preserve it is because this has been a landmark going back before English-speaking people came here. This has been an important place for a lot of people throughout history. And when you have some place like that, it's a good thing to keep it so that other people in the future can go, oh, that's where that was. That's where, there's the hill, there's the rock. Yes?
This young man posed that question because we had a very important rock on the top of the Hill. It was known as Canonicus Rock. And it sat there for eons of time. Again, focal point.
Sure.
And then in the 50s, someone decided it was unsafe, and they blew it up.
Yep.
All right? Which is a shame, because that also had to have been a moving spot.
Sure.
It's sat right on the precipice of the hill.
You know, the views from certain places like this are just absolutely incredible. Okay? Even today, getting on top of New Continent Hill and looking into Providence is just an absolutely beautiful view. And think, if you're standing on top of that hill and you spread your arms out like this, you've got the boundaries of the original settlement. Literally, a person going like this, that's the original settlement of Providence.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
I think I heard you say earlier that that lower section broke down probably about 100 years ago.
Within the last 100 years, yeah.
And you see other fractures in the rock.
Plenty of other fractures. As you can see from the outside, there are lots of smaller fractures. But yeah, I mean, it's a sedimentary rock. You can see the layers if you look close enough in there. And in certain places, the layers are going this way and then going in a totally different direction next to it. So it's sedimentary rock that has also been folded. So it's really, in and of itself, it's a beautiful piece of geology. But yes, that has slipped down. There was a cave right in there that, in the 1800s, they said people could stand inside the cave. Right now, it is filled up with sand, but also the rock roof has slipped down. Yes?
Have any geologists, maybe from Brown University, come out and done studies of this rock?
For the most, as far as I know, they haven't. Because this is, again, one of those places that for the longest time has been forgotten about.
Right.
Until you make it an important place, people aren't going to start to bother studying it. And then, once you start studying it, you learn more about its own story.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is all of this that you've been talking about in a book or something we can read about further?
Stuff about the Native Americans is around in several different books. A really nice one to take a look at how the Native Americans lived around here is called Changes in the Land by William Cronin. Takes a look at how they lived in this area here. That's a beautiful study. The stories about Roger Williams, they're not compiled in any one place. Because I don't depend on the 19th century historians, because they like to make things up. I go back to Roger's letters, the original documents, and take a look at people's diaries and their own letters back and forth to find out what they were saying to each other about what was going on, rather than depend on somebody 200 years later looking back and saying, yeah, but that doesn't sound right, we're going to change that.
I have a question.
Sure.
You know that New York was sold to the Dutch. Why didn't they sell them?
The first part of the land, Roger said that there was no amount of money that could have purchased Providence. It was purchased because of the love that they had for each other. Roger was in trouble. He was on the run. He was an outlaw in Massachusetts Bay Colony. And the Narragansetts liked him. He told them about the situation. The Narragansetts didn't like the people up in the Mass Bay Colony either. And Providence, that big triangle that he had, put a big cork in the bottle of English expansion into Narragansett country. Take a look at Route 6. Comes from the tip of the Cape, comes right into Providence, goes out west. Route 44, from Plymouth, right into Providence, and then goes out west. Route 1, from Boston, down to Providence, and then down to New Amsterdam. You put an English settlement there, at the edge of Narragansett territory, it puts a cork in the bottle. Plus, Roger had made his living by trading English goods with the Narragansett. Now, the Narragansett don't have to deal with the Massachusetts Bay Colony. They can deal with Roger. So at a resource spot, that large saltwater cove, they've gotten rid of two problems. Dealing with the English and English expansion into Narragansett territory, and they've helped out a friend. Absolutely. The Narragansett, the Native Americans around here, were not savages running around in the woods. They were as political, as sophisticated politically as the English were. The big difference was Narragansett and Wampanoag did not see themselves as all the same, the way the English did. Roger Williams said at one point, when the English are in trouble, we're all one Englishman. That's the big difference.